Le'Veon Bell to the Chiefs. He just signed there because Joe Douglas is an idiot. And so is Adam Gase. Le'Veon Bell is in the Chiefs, so how do you feel like what do you feel like his impact is going to be with the Chiefs? Do you think he's going to be what he was in Pittsburgh or just a step above Clyde Edwards-Helaire?
I think it'll just be another addition to the passing game. I think that was always one of his best skills. I don't think he's going to necessarily be there to just run the ball. I think he's going to be more suited for the passing game because that's really his strength, getting out there, screen routes, all that good stuff. So I think he's going to fit that offense pretty good. And now they have a veteran running back, a guy who's been there, done that, so that he's going to be able to help the younger guys and get them suited in better too.
I was just thinking the same thing. I think one of the biggest parts of this acquisition was getting him in the running back room with Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who they took with a first-round pick. So clearly they think pretty highly of him. I'm sure they want him to be their running back of the future, or at least near future until his deal is up. So getting Le'Veon Bell in the room with him is a huge plus. I don't even know if Le'Veon will start for them, but out of the passing game, it's like adding another slot receiver, one of the better slot receivers in the game, because you remember how potent he was in that Pittsburgh offense. He's still only 29 years old. Plus, he took a whole year off with the contract disputes. So,
you could say he took a year off with you guys, too. You guys suck.
Well, he dealt with the injuries that kept him out. So, it's not like his body is in any position where, he's close to being done. He's refreshed. I think he's ready to go. And now that you put him in a good offense where he'll be used correctly, I'm excited to see what he does. It depends on, like you mentioned with Phillip Rivers, he's got to pick up the playbook. He's got to figure out the offense. And depending on how well he slides in, which can be a difficult adjustment, I think he could be a big piece for them in an already ridiculous offense.
When this move first happened, I was at my school, and I was talking to some friends about it, and I kind of had a lukewarm take about it. As a runner, at first, I said that Le'Veon isn't going to make much of an impact because their offensive line, in terms of running blocking, is average at best and not very good. But in terms of a pass catcher, he'll be a huge addition. I'm kind of mad about the move because I drafted Clyde Edwards-Helaire with the first-round pick in my fantasy league. But needless to say, I think I was wrong on that because if there's one coach that can maximize his talent, it's Andy Reid. And at this point, I'm not going to bet against Andy Reid. There's a huge possibility that we see Le'Veon Bell go back into his all-pro form that he was like in Pittsburgh, and that he has about 200 yards from scrimmage against the Jets when we play them. I think there's a huge possibility that can happen. Yes.
That offensive line in Pittsburgh is really great.
I honestly think that if Andy Reid wants to make it happen, he can. They would have to focus on it, but realistically, that'll be like a practice for them.
Not to mention, that's like another, leadership at the running back position, experience. He's been to the playoffs. He's been to the AFC Championship repeatedly. So that's another guy you get in there who knows how to win, knows what it's like to win. And now, instead of playing a rookie in the playoffs, you got a guy who with veteran experience is somebody who knows how to win too. So that's like a big bonus for them. These guys are going back to the Super Bowl. And I don't see anybody else who could beat them, honestly.
At this point, I think they were probably going to go back to Super Bowl regardless if they got Le'Veon Bell. Now they got Le'Veon Bell, so the chances are obviously higher.
They're the favorites. Heavy.
But when I saw Le'Veon in New York, and this is why I didn't think that his running ability would translate to Kansas City because he lost some burst. It was obvious when you watch Le'Veon Bell that he lost some burst. Even I was saying that Frank Gore looks better.
Yeah, and the thing about Le'Veon is his bread and butter has always been patient running and waiting to find the hole open up. But you can't do that if the hole never opens up. So you need at least an above-average offensive line to depend on that run style. And the fact of the matter is the Jets never had that. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if the Chiefs have that in the run game where every time he gets a handoff, a hole will open up. Because it seemed like every time he touched the ball in Pittsburgh, he would take 3 stutter steps behind the line and a hole would open up somewhere. And he would be able to have enough burst to hit it. That never happened in New York. And I don't know if it'll happen in Kansas City, but passing game alone, it's a huge addition.
I mean, I think for the next couple of weeks, Sammy Watkins is out. Mm-hmm. They could possibly play Le'Veon
Put
at
him
the
in slot receiver.
Even though they have DeMarcus Robinson, who's not a bad receiver, but, Le'Veon may be better than him as a receiver. You never know.
Yeah. It doesn't even matter.
But I hope he does succeed.
Yeah, I wish him the best for him. When he was, in his short time in New York, he was everything you could have wanted out of him. It was just at the end of the day, he made the wrong. He didn't make the wrong decision. He got his money, but it was not the best career decision for him because
I think he could have went somewhere else.
Exactly. If
it went to Baltimore.
Exactly.
That would have been great for him too.
We were not trending upwards, even though we might have seemed like it because of a couple more injuries and signings that made us look better than we were going to be. And last year we needed to make the playoffs, and Sam Darnold got hurt. It ruined our chances, and everything fell apart from there. And I feel bad for him because I think that he truly believed he could be part of the group to turn it around, and then everything just unraveled around him. And he still stood tall for as long as he possibly could until essentially his coach came out and laughed at the notion that they were misusing him when they were clearly misusing him. And at that point, it's just like, what was the point of him being here?
Yeah, I agree.
I hope the best for him.